Leave it to really, really cool developers to really take advantage of these foldable, flippable phones. And that's what we see right here. So this is actually going to be something you can download in the Play Store and use on your Galaxy Z Flip 3. And I'm going to talk about why this is really cool and why this could be used on other devices. But this, as you guys can see, is, of course, the Flip 3. By the way, shout out to 925 Tech, Ben Shahoon, who posted this article. But pretty much what this is a application that you go into your Z Flip 3, and it fully utilizes this outside display, this 1.1 inch outside display on your Z Flip 3. Here's the actual video of it being used, and you guys can see it looks pretty much like an Apple Watch. It functions like an Apple Watch, functions like a Samsung Gear. It's a really cool way to actually use outside display, where before it was kind of much more or less limited, right? You could do some things, but you couldn't do too much things. Now you have full functionality on this outside display, and this got me really, really interested. Because obviously when Samsung made this first outside display, yes, they added some abilities to do some things, but not too much. I mean, you could do limited stuff, okay, here and there, but you couldn't really run pretty much your full entire phone from this outside display. And with this application, you actually can. The reason why this interests me so much, and I have it right over here, is because of the Duo 2. Now, Duo 1 doesn't have an outside display of any kind. Doesn't even have the glance display, which of course the Duo 2 does have. And why this interests me is if developers can make, an application that lets you be able to utilize outside display, we need a developer to to utilize this outside display. Now, obviously, that outside display right there is so much bigger than this one right here. This is a thin line versus a 1.1 inch actual display. But like I said before, yeah, you might not be able to get touchscreen capabilities on this outside display. But what you could do is at least have a better notification bar, a better notification system. And that's something I'm really hoping we see, moving forward. And this is a really good step. I always say, when it comes to technology, one step forward improves everything. I mean, one person creates an application that lets you utilize the outside display like this, the cover screen OS, and instantly now you have other developers saying, well, that's a good idea. Let's do that with other phones. Not only this phone, but also the Surface Duo 2. Now, obviously, for outside displays, very small outside displays, there's only a handful of phones that really have them. The Surface Duo 2 has a glance bar. This has the outside display. And no real other affordable phone other than maybe a China phone, like a knockoff China phone. I'm saying like not a, how to put this, not like a mainstream affordable phone at the moment in time, has an outside display like this. I know that Motorola has their outside display, but it's actually a very usable one. It's not 100% you can use it like an actual like Z Fold 3 outside display, but it's more or less very similar. With that being said, though, I'm just interested to see how this ends up working out with the Surface Duo 2. And again, it does come down to one simple thing. Samsung phones, when you look at Z Flip 3, Z Fold 3, they're usually very friendly at being able to kind of work around the software to make the product better. But again, keep in mind, you cannot actually hack these things, or else you will lose access to your camera, which actually did get fixed. Samsung actually now makes it so if you do root or hack your Z Fold 3, you're not going to lose your camera access. They fixed that, so that is no longer a thing. But guys, definitely tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, because, as these foldable phones come out, I feel like the biggest issue, the biggest thing we always talk about is a lack of an outside display, or the lack of a functionality on an outside display. Because yes, right now, I can see the time right here on this outside display. If I get a text message, it's going to show me a little icon right here that shows me the time, or shows me a little notification on a text message, email, a little dot. And I can know, okay, well, I have something to look at, right? It would be nice to see like an actual text thread maybe coming through. It says like, mom texted you, and then you see the text message. Again, like I said, it is weird because of the glance display is kind of like, inward to the device, so it's a little bit harder to really even see. Like when you even type, just get the actual like the time, but that alone is hard to see inside and actually like fully see it. I wish it was more or less on the outside of this, but again, we're going to see that probably with the Surface Duo 3. So, guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, because the last thing I want to talk about in this video is the downside of this, okay? Because they do say it right here, and it actually is very, very true. It's going to be, of course, the actual battery life. So the Z Flip 3 is one of the worst foldable, flippable batteries in existence. It has a really bad battery, and it gets less than 6 hours of battery life. Will this, of course, affect battery life? Absolutely, yes. I mean, you're now adding more functionality, but you're also adding more, strain on the battery with an outside display that can do this kind of stuff. Because you got to think, if this is running it full time, every second, whenever you're using a phone, that's just an extra amount of resources that are being used for this outside display. So it is going to have its, pros and cons, but overall, I will say, still interests me. It's so cool to me. But if you did enjoy this video, hit the likes, comment down below. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.